Cinders, the Kitten Who Licked Everything by Dean Village. Cinders was a young kitten. She had black fur as dark as a shadow and big green eyes. Around her neck was a bright red collar which had her name dangling from it, along with a bell that jingled with every step she took. She had two owners who hadn't had her for long at all. The man was tall and hairy, the woman was warm and cuddly, and they loved Cinders. They loved Cinders very much. But there was something Cinders did that her owners did not love at all. She licked everything. She licked the carpet, she licked the mail, and she licked the saucepans. She even licked the man's feet as he got out of the bath. "This needs to stop," shouted the woman. "There's nothing much left that she hasn't licked." "We need to let her outside," stated the man. So that is what they decided. "Please don't get stuck up any trees, Cinders," the woman said worriedly as they took her outside. "And try not to lick anything," warned the man. But did that stop her? She licked flower pots, she licked grass, she licked soil, she licked drain pipes, she licked a watering can, she licked the fence. She even licked a snail trying its best to slide away. Cinders felt like she'd licked everything she could in her garden, so she decided to retreat beyond. She licked the tyres of parked cars. Rubbery, she thought. "That's tasty," she chirped after licking a plastic bag left on the road. She was just stretching her tongue to reach a crunchy leafy hedge when... "Oi, you!" snarled General, the ginger cat. General was a smelly, greasy cat who was cruel and mean to everybody he met. He had fleas nesting in his slimy fur and the biggest yellow eyes that gleamed an evil stare. Nobody knew if he had an owner, but he had acted as if he was the owner of the whole street. General had watched Cinders licking everything in his street, and he wanted revenge. "You're a licker then, are you?" asked General. Cinders replied nervously. Yes, I love to lick. It's my favourite thing to do." "Oh, yeah? Well, I know the best thing to lick. It is juicy, sweet, tickly, and tastier than anything you've ever licked before," boasted General. Cinders' ears pricked. General pointed his gruesome paw towards a tall tree standing in a nearby garden. "Right at the top of that tree, the leaves are delicious. You can't say no to a lick of the tastiest leaves you'll ever lick." "But the woman told me to stay away from the trees because I might get stuck," Cinders responded sensibly. "Of course she doesn't want you up that tree. The woman doesn't want you anywhere near the leaves because she wants them all to herself. Yes, even the people lick these leaves. They are that tasty." Unfortunately, Cinders believed General and began to climb, whilst General sat on his favourite bin, laughing to himself. Cinders reached the top of the tree and began licking the leaves. She thought, "These leaves don't taste any different to the ones in a hedge or the ones on a flower." She meowed back down to General. "Hey, these leaves aren't any different to leaves I've licked before." "I know," chuckled General, "but try getting down from up there." And off he waddled down the street. Cinders looked all around her as the wind shook the tree, but she couldn't see a way down at all. Cinders began to panic. She meowed as loudly as she could to try and get someone to help, but no one heard her. Cinders felt really silly. She knew she should have listened to the woman and the man. It started to become dark, so Cinders snuggled into the tree to keep herself warm, crying softly. It was getting dark, and the woman and the man were worrying that they still hadn't seen Cinders since they let her outside. "I hope she isn't stuck up a tree," said the woman. "I'm going to have a look," declared the man. "Take this torch with you and don't forget to check the trees." The woman handed the man a torch as he left the house. He scanned the street and streets around. He looked up at every tree he could find. Hours went by, and the man was starting to lose all hope. But all of a sudden, he heard a soft jingling sound. He instantly pointed the torch up at the tree where the noise had come from. The greenest eyes shone back down at him, and he knew exactly who it was. "Cinders," he called. "Meow," Cinders replied gingerly. The man held out his loving arms. "Jump, Cinders! Jump into my arms!" Cinders was scared but so relieved to see her owner. She closed her eyes and took a leap of faith, down from the tree and into his arms. "Cinders!" he cried, cuddling her to his chest. "I'm so glad you are safe. Let's go home." Cinders had learned a lot from this experience. She stayed away from trees and definitely stopped licking things, except when giving the woman or a man a little kiss. And as for General, well, bizarrely, he wasn't seen again afterwards. He just disappeared completely with no explanation. I think he might have fallen asleep a little bit too long inside his favourite bin. But what do you think happened to him?